the Lord. Because what is typical, particularly in Christian media, is when someone experiences a measure of success, it's pretty easy for them to begin to believe that they had more input into their success than perhaps they really did. In truth, servants of the Lord are helped by God, and God is to get the honor and the glory and the exaltation. And Christian television is a very dangerous medium because there's a risk that people begin to think that they're someone. I have the high privilege of being at the headquarters of Gospel for Asia, an international organization with thousands of missionaries, planting thousands of churches, seeing tens of thousands of people converted to our Messiah and their lives changed. And the head of the organization is a man that I deeply respect. And he's Indian, so you won't be able to see him blush. But he would blush if his complexion permitted it. He heads a major organization. The facility is going through an enormous building program. They're adding 40,000 square feet to the facility. Yet, this humble, godly man drives to work every morning in an old Volkswagen Bug. In preparing for this television shoot, we were discussing the setup where we would be taping, and my son raised the question of what we would be wearing, and he suggested that perhaps this humble man of God who tends to come to work in sandals and an open-collared shirt might wear a coat and a tie to represent this wonderful organization. And he specifically asked him, now, we hope that the coat won't be too busy, and he said, oh, it's not a problem, I only have one coat. I promise you, you don't know another man like the one that I'm going to introduce you to again here on Crosstalk. It's my brother, Dr. K.P. Yohannan. K.P., you're a treasure, and I'm just so delighted to have the privilege of being your friend, of working with you, of sharing you with the audience, because you have the goods. This is the real deal. This is the end-time move of God on earth today, among many, but certainly mightily at work in your life and in the life of Gospel for Asia. Share with our audience some of the stories of what God is doing.
Well, Randy, first of all, I don't think my coat or car makes me humble. I live in a very nice house, and I drive a 1962 Bug simply because I like it.
We got married, and our honeymoon was taken in a 1964 Bug, and that, well, that was our life.
See, that's the reason you survived. You know, Germans make good cars. And I spend only 8 or 9 times of the year, Randy, I travel outside the United States, and there's no reason to wear suits and three-piece, you know, this and none of those things. So the times I wear a jacket is very rare, and that's the reason. I have friends who are incredibly godly, truly committed to Christ, but extremely rich on their own aeroplanes and all that, who love the Lord, very humble. But then I know people who got nothing in the world, greedy like the devil. You know, so I honestly want you to know that, you know, my, you know, look at my shoe. This is one of the most expensive shoes you can buy from England. So
they look very comfortable.
I think it's better than yours. So, but you know, I read a book long ago by a godly man who said, Lord, I am what I am, minus everything I have received, gained, accomplished. Mm. Some time ago, somebody asked me, Brother KP, you wrote all these books and this and that. They just listed about 25 things. And what is the greatest accomplishment of your life? Oh, that's easy. I have 2 children that know the Lord and walk with the Lord. I said, that's the only thing I know. Everything else I was given. I didn't do anything about it. I'm just somewhat, the Lord called and gave me the grace to obey Him and follow Him. So I just want to make sure, Randy, you understand. I don't look poor. You know, if you see my Bug, You know, I keep them in the garage. I'm afraid somebody's going to steal it because it's so nice.
It's a beautiful book. I will say that.
But you know, Randy, I live with this conscious awareness that now I'm 53, I have a few more years left, and I'm not going to take nothing with me. The only thing matters is loving the Lord, getting to know Him. As a matter of fact, you know, my life is consumed 24 hours about reaching the lost world. I dream about it. I work for it. I don't take any vacation going after anything else. But I must tell you, evangelism, mission work, reaching the lost world, everything, honestly, is secondary to my hunger to know Jesus.
Yes.
And there's nothing more important to me in this life than knowing Him, because I'm going to see Him one of these days, and I will be like Him. But here on earth, I want to know Him better. And that is my greatest longing. This is the reason why when I talk about mission work, I think the way to do the work of God is not being persuaded by need or opportunity, but by His love, knowing Him. And the more I get to know the Lord, the more my heart is stirred and compelled to do more for Him, not out of duty or need. No, just love Him. That's the main thing. And I see this in the lives of our missionaries on the mission field. Loving the Lord, knowing Christ, make us to be concerned about the lost multitude. He saw this young woman sitting by the bank of the river, weeping uncontrollably and pounding upon her chest. When I finished reading the letter, I said, Lord, every drop of my blood, every fiber of my being, all that I am, my wife, my children, everything I have, it's all yours. Whatever you want to be, Lord, I never want again read another letter like this one. To find forgiveness for my sins and solution to the problems of my home, I have given the best offering I can give to God as Ganges. We are so preoccupied with our own traditions that we cannot think different.
But when you're confronted with the truth,
all those who call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved.
When you're confronted with reality, pain and suffering and opportunity,
then He says, but how can they call on Him in whom they have not believed?
I believe that you're just like me. You'll care. You'll want to be involved.
The next question, how can they believe in Him of whom they have not heard?
This text will revolutionize people's thinking about world missions.
And how will they hear without a preacher? And how will they preach except they be sent?
If you read this book, you will find the heart of God for the lost.
I would weep my eyes out over the lost millions when 80,000 people die every day and plunge into eternity without Christ.
If you need to be revitalized in your own spirit because you've grown cold, you're so connected to this world, you're so attached to this temporary, passing world.
The greatest need is in the 1040 window region. Greatest opportunity is right there. Greatest harvest is right there.
I want to appeal to you to call the number on our screen and request a free copy of this book, Revolution in World Missions. I beg you to call.
The question is not how are we going to do the job, but how are they going to hear the gospel?
This book by my brother, Dr. K.P. Yohannan, Revolution in World Missions, will touch you and change you. I dare you to request this book because I promise you if you do, you will be changed.
Loving the Lord, knowing Christ, make us to be concerned about the lost multitude. You know, some years ago, my wife came to me in our office here and said, you want to read this letter? And so I started reading the letter.